All right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the morning show. My name's Jason. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, Zoom, and probably a few other places I don't know about. We're super excited to have you on today. It's Thursday, April 14th, maybe? I don't know. I don't even remember. I hope I put the right caption in there. Good. If you've never been here before, the morning show, this is a place where a bunch of us get together every morning to start meaningful conversations to get us fired up, motivated, inspired for a great day. Yes, a very, very great day. And man, we've been on a fantastic topic this whole week. Like I don't, what we're kind of finding for ourselves is, we're kind of discovering that format for this show. It could change any minute, by the way. This is a fluid kind of community type deal. And what we're finding is this week, man, we've been really zero focused in on desire and really kind of focusing in on, what motivates us. What are the things that we really want to do? I have this weird belief, maybe it's just me. And if it is just me, that's fine. But I'm looking for more people that feel the same way. I just think everybody wants to do something that matters. Like I think everybody wants to do something with their life in a way that, man, they look at it and they're like, dude, I lived with purpose. I lived with meaning. Like I really did that. And obviously you got to figure out a motivation for that, a desire for that. And so we've been kicking that around for a while. I've got Martinez in the house. What's going on, Martin?
Happy terrific Thursday. And by the way, I caught that Martin stuff. I don't know what that is all about.
That is offensive. I'll never do it again. Never call Martinez Martin. Okay, we now know this.
I remember in second grade, there was a girl in our class. Her name was Leslie Martin, and so I was like, "That's the only Martin I know that was identified. It was a girl." I'm like, "I don't want to be a girl name." My teacher would call me Martin once in a while, and I'm like, "No, thank you." What's in the name? What's in the name?
My goodness. Bring him back meters. Becky says, "Good morning, Martinez," and she used your name, so she's a better friend than I am so far this morning. She's a sweetheart. Oh man, that's awesome.
A woman after my own heart.
There you go.
But man, you're absolutely right. Everybody wants to have a meaningful life, a life of purpose, a life of intentionality. But it's just hard to do if you're not, ordering your steps in such a manner,
Yeah.
But no one wants to get to the end of the day and be like, man, I ain't get nothing done today. I didn't do anything. I didn't show up. I put a 0 on my test score on my pop quiz today. And as far as life, you know what the teacher says when it comes to pop quizzes? She's like, if you don't put nothing down on the paper, I can't even round up. I can't even give you a curve of a grade if it's a 0 on there. And so, we don't want to. People don't want to end the day with a 0 on their test score as far as what they got out of the day, and certainly throughout the week and the month and throughout their years.
Yeah.
So of living. But you got to put something on the paper, You got to put some kind of intentionality or purpose on the paper, of life each day in order for your life to be somewhat meaningful. Excuse me, I shouldn't say somewhat.
No, I know what you're saying. Because some days, man, you go through a day and you're just like, what was that all about?
Right.
Some days you just come home, you sit in a chair and you're like, I know that I did stuff today. I know that I was busy. But I'll be honest with you. What was all of that all about? I don't even know why I was, you know what I mean?
Right.
We're at drift.
Yeah, you're just trying to get to home base. You're just like, man, if I could just get back home, and then you get home, you're like, man, I got to rewind. I got to do that all over again. I mean, that's not my.
That was bad. It was bad. I ain't trying to be negative. I'm just being honest, man. That was a weird day. But they do happen. Let's see here.
And that's why it's so important to have create expectations early.
Yeah.
And a lot of times to help create expectations early, we have to have a end target, a desire, something that a passion that's it helps if it's bigger than us, but if it's not bigger than us, then just have a target, have a desire out there,
Right. That's perfect. Becky said on those days, that's the day you should have taken a nap. Been there. Well, hey, we've been on this topic. You and I have kind of talked off camera a little bit, and what are some of the things that I do this with our kids sometimes, but what are some of the nuggets that you're taking away? Because again, this is our conversation, right? And by the way, this conversation is open. We've got people commenting. We've got Mark Henderson in the house. We've got Caleb McCool in the house. Got things happening. But again, this is a I believe, for me anyways, it's just kind of becoming a routine. This is hey, I start the day off with conversations like this. with you all. It's making me better. But just kind of curious on your end of things, Martinez. We're now, this is day 9 back with the morning show at the 9th episode we've had. What are some of the nuggets that we've had this week that stood out to you about desire and the belief of it and just all of those things?
Yeah, well, yeah, like again, I can't ever get away from the idea or the origin of desire coming from above. It's a desire that's inspired from from a greater calling, and that desire is planted in you. So I can't get away from that. It's not coming from anybody else but from above.
Yeah.
The other thing I get from desire is that desire is gonna cost you something. It's gonna,
Yeah.
Anything worth doing is going to cost you something, and a lot of times we get confused with activity costing. Being our building block of creating desire.
Yeah.
No, activity is not a building block. Activity is just activity. And so but desire is gonna cost you something. Desire is gonna require you to kind of be your best self. It's
Okay.
going to require you to be intentional.
Yeah.
It's more directive. More. It put away some of that old self. Some of those old habits that kind of take the weight away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 2 biggest things I get from desire. There's a lot of other things, but and let me say this: I think desire is more of it actually refines. It might start carnal, but it actually it kind of bleeds into spiritual. Because a lot of times the desire to manifest your desire, it's going to require you to get away from the mechanics of just, oh, woe is me, this is who I am. The average daily grind, so to speak, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so when you talk about that, do you kind of feel like that, like you just said, maybe I had this initial want to learn a new skill or get involved with some kind of program or organization or whatever that might look like. But what you kind of found is the more you got involved, the deeper you kind of grew into that. All of a sudden, the higher the purpose began to reveal itself. Is that kind of what you're saying? I never realized that this was my deal. This was my calling. This was my, you take the word.
Yeah, you're absolutely. I mean, the desire, you're spot on. I think it's it's a case, you want to learn a better skill. You want to learn more about yourself or your community, or you're doing research or whatever it is, you're aspiring for more and for more self. And what happens is, unbeknownst to us, we are actually walking into our I would say, I'm not calling us divine, but we're walking into our divine makeup, because we're created in the image of our maker, of God. And so it's just like he's able to create, we have that ability, being fearfully and wonderfully made, to kind of take our skills to another level and our brain power to another level. But a lot of times that's kind of derailed through the cares of life. But yeah, as you develop these skills, as you develop this knowledge, you're really finding out more about your wonderful makeup, about who you are, and it's more, in my opinion, it's more of it takes on a spiritual journey as well.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Because again, to your point, okay, you were sent here with distinct purposes. You have gifts and callings. These things. This is information, quote unquote. This is stuff that we learn from the Bible. about who we are. And the thing about that is there's a lot of like what we go through. The Bible uses like a lot of like terminology, like, going through fiery trials and relating that to metals, and the fact that a precious metal cannot be pressure unless it is pressurized, right? It can't be
Right.
pure unless it's had all of the iniquity taken out of it, which is, if you're dealing with metal, gold, silver, whatever, like, right, it's superheated so that there is a separation of stuff, and that's kind of the idea. Even with the desire, I think there is a special purpose and a reason that you have to go through some stuff to prove the desire. Does that make sense? Like if I find a shiny rock, I'm like, oh man, I found a diamond, or I found a gem, or I found whatever. But the truth is, I've got to prove that is in fact something pure, something distinct, something that is real, right?
Right.
And so, it's got to be tested, right? You have to test this stuff. Like I actually had this picked out. Again, this is, you call it, how you want to, but like basically all personal development came out of this book. But this is what old Napoleon said when he was talking about desire. He said, handicaps can be converted into stepping stones on which one may climb towards some worthy goal, unless they are accepted as obstacles and used as alibis.
Whoa.
Think about it.
Whoa.
Think about that.
Yeah.
The stuff that happened, this is cliche, but like it serves purpose to remind yourself, because when you go through difficult stuff, or you have opposition or things that are in your way, the question is, are those things happening to you, or are they happening for you? It's actually for the path you're trying to get to, but the problem is you're not willing to accept that was put in your path to help you get to where you're supposed to go, not a stopping point, not a, hey, don't come this way. No. I can actually climb over the obstacle and get to where I'm going. It's a gift.
Yes. That's wonderful. I love that. And, it again, to kind of piggyback that Napoleon's quote, a mountain could either be an obstacle or a stepping stone. And it kind of puts me in the mind of a quote I heard a while ago, and it's like, when you change the way you look at things,
Mm-hmm.
the things you look at change.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. In other words, like, what might, like you said, is it happening to you or for you?
Yeah.
If it's happening to you, I mean, you can. That's an easy invitation to claim victimhood, to claim, well, woe is me, that kind of stuff, and that's easy to do.
Yeah.
But how much godness within yourself, how much giant within yourself do you forfeit as a result of bowing down to, oh, it's happening to me?
Yeah.
How much do you forfeit of finding out who you are when you look at that mountain and say, that's an obstacle I cannot climb?
Yeah.
You will never know the greatness of who you are, and what your family, the army that you're leading, how it can be such an invincible unit that will change your bloodline forever if you continue to look at stuff happening to you versus for you, if that makes sense.
No. Completely. Because, it goes back to, okay. And again, Mark Henderson said perception is everything. It's true, because what happens is the obstacles that are in your path, the stuff that's holding you up, like it's super, like this is where they talk about, having a positive attitude, finding the positive, finding the positive. Ziegler, I think, put the best spin on it. He said, positivity won't help you do anything, but positivity will help you do everything better. It's not like I can just be positive in my life, just like magically aligns, but positivity is there for you to see things as they should be and not be held up by the confusion of like, why has this happened? Like you said, woe is me. Or, but worse, here's a question. Here's a worse statement. This is just the kind of stuff that happens to me. I'm who this, well, it makes sense. That's just the kind of stuff that happens to me.
Hey, right. It is what it is.
It is what it is. No. This is happening for a reason. Okay. This is for my good. I think about in the Bible. Again, this is where I'm thinking, but the story of Joseph in Genesis, he told his brothers after he had to go through, slavery, false accusations, imprisonment, but finally being elevated to the place in which he was already given the dream about. And he talked to his brothers and he told his brothers, don't freak out. Everything that happened to me was necessary. That was the language. He said it was necessary. Every ounce of junk that he went through, he looked at it and said, okay, that was the stepping stone to the palace. That was the waiting station to get me to where God told me I was going. And by the way, it wasn't even a thing about him as much as it was a thing for what he was supposed to do for others. See, that's another thing. Like, that's what I'm talking about, meaning, purpose. Who is waiting for your purpose to be realized, right? And not only is your life changed, but their life is changed forever. Forever. Thinking about
Forever.
what was that baseball movie? Oh gosh, well, Sandlot. There we go. Forever. Oh my gosh. Anyways, yeah, like that's one of the. No, you're fine. That's just a big thing that really has registered with me is the perception. I'm glad Mark used that word, the perception of what's going on around me, because if I'm not careful, I will look at problems and miss their opportunity.
Yeah, and see, here, I love the word perception. And by the way, for people who are just chiming in potentially, we're talking about desire. We're talking about, getting out of routine and aspiring to wanting more and doing more. But I love what the input of perception, and it just came to me that yes, perception is everything, but I wonder, like, if you only have like one eye where you've looked at problems or issues in your life, and if you've never had a different viewpoint of that issue or that mountain, what's the probability that you'll ever look at it any different than a mountain? And guess what? If you look at it as a mountain, maybe it was a good chance that your father looked at it as a mountain, that your mom looked at it as a mountain. And so there's generations and decades of people looking at mountains as obstacles. right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, perception is everything, but who's gonna give you a different perception?
Yeah.
You're like, what? How in the world are you gonna get? How is your children gonna get a different perception than what is being pushed on you through the powers that be, whether through media, through the doctors, perception is everything. But where are you gonna get a different perception?
Yeah. Yeah.
To make you think that that's not a mountain.
Yeah. You know what? Like as soon as, and I just typed this in the comments, but here's the question for me in terms of family, right? And those mountains, those things of like, oh man, we've always looked at it this way. Who's going to take the mountain?
Right.
Like who at some point, and again, I'm thinking about what Pastor was preaching about the mountain and the cost of more and inhabiting that area. But like at some point, somebody has to make a decision. I'm taking the mountain. It's actually mine. It's my property. No, I don't have to. I've already got permission to get it. But somebody has to go take the mountain. Dude, that's my nugget for the day, dude. Man, somebody's got to take the mountain. Somebody, I want my kids to see Daddy taking the mountain. I want my wife. I want my I want people, dude. What's going on? Why is he changing? Why is he doing what he's doing? He's taking the mountain.
He's taking the mountain.
He's taking the mountain.
He's taking the mountain. Man, I love that, and that message that he preached about taking the mountain. It's not too different than the expression he had when he was preaching about, hey, guess what? Get used to it. There's giants in the land. There's always going to be giants.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're always going to be outnumbered.
Yeah.
And so like, will you look at it that way, that there's always going to be giants? You're always going to be outnumbered. Guess what? Put away the pity party. Put away the coulda, shoulda. You either make a decision right now. Like, are you going to bow, or are you going to like come at that giant with with a stone in a slingshot, 5 stones,
yeah,
so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's like, and guess what? I'm not saying it's easy. And no one's saying it easy. A lot of us get dealt a lot of crazy blows, but you have to create the expectation early. You got to it's a mindset. It's a battle of the mind. And a lot of times you can win the battle of the mind by having a target, a desire that it says, okay, I don't care what kind of giant I see, because I know there's giants, and I know I'm going to see one.
Yeah.
I'm ready to throw down. I don't care how big that mountain is. I'm going to climb it, because I got a desire. I got a target,
Right.
And I got a pace that I got to keep. My steps are ordered, and I think when we look at it that way, when we understand that there's giants in the land and that there's mountains that are to be taken, then I think we're less inclined to entertain weights and appetites that present themselves.
Right.
And I'll shut up after this.
No, you're good. You're good.
I can tell you this.
Becky said, "Yes, sir, Martinez."
A woman after my own heart. But there's a mountain to be taken and there's a giant to be slayed, and that's never going to change. And when you know that, then you're less inclined to entertain appetites and weights that present themselves during the course of the day, which may include, hey, well, let me say this. I tell you what your desire is not. Your desire is not, hey, man, I want to eat. I'm going to go pull up at a bar and have a couple before I get home from work. I'm gonna open up a couple of cans of drink and alcohol or whatever when I get home before I get to bed. and before you know it, you're in a dark rabbit hole of now you have nothing. It wasn't desire; it was someone else's desire to put that appetite in front of you, and you bit, and now you're serving their desire. You're not serving that's not a true desire. That's an appetite. But you think in your heart, I desire to have. I desire to sit down and eat me eat until I'm blue in the face. You don't listen. Eat for nourishment of the body. Don't eat for to be full or eat for entertainment. Get away from that. Because if you don't, then before you know it, your desire, your true desire, the true makeup of who you are, your capacity to take this mountain is going to be also, what's the word? It's just going to be hard to do. It's not going to, you're not going to have the capacity. You're going to bow before that mountain.
Absolutely.
You're going to end up bowing before that giant. And guess what? If you bow, your wife bows. If you bow, your kids bow. If you bow, your bloodline continues to bow.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the reasons. Those are the reasons. Those are those out. Well, I can't go do that. I'm not feeling up to it. I'm like all of those things, right? Believe it or not, that are keeping you. That's the opportunity to change. Right? Like that is the opportunity. That's fire. It is 8:30, so we're going to wrap it up. Man, what a great day. What a fantastic day. It's Thursday. It's a beautiful day now in Nashville. Of course, it was nasty earlier with the last night with the storm. But I do hope that you have a great rest of your day. We're again slowly but surely getting into the Easter weekend. So if you're around Middle Tennessee, we'd love to see you here. Point of Mercy on Saturday, 3 to 5 for a big community Easter egg hunt. 5,000 eggs aren't going to find themselves, people. All right. We need some people to come get those. And then we got a huge Easter Sunday. We'll also have that online for all of our folks that can't be there in place. It's going to be awesome. Yes. But, absolutely not, Becky. Absolutely not. I'll go ahead and send you the info so that way you can kind of browse a little bit. But it's going to be fire. It's going to be awesome.
And what a great opportunity, Jason, to be around people so they can help you change your perception.
Yeah, for sure.
Your view of the mountain.
Yeah, for sure. Go take you the mountain, people. Let's go. Awesome. All right. Have a great day. We will catch you later.